The film industry was revolutionized, reformed, and the reaction was incredible. The cinema experience is about 110 years old, but moving images are much older than that. It mainly began with toys that simulated motion and stage performances. A huge step to a modern-day film is the Magic Lantern, created in about 1660. The Magic Lantern was simply projector slides with a bright light, but the discovery of how the human eye perceived motion led to a variety of motion devices. In 1832, Joseph Plateau introduced the phenakistoscope, a toy that created the illusion of movement when two discs were spun quickly and viewed in a mirror. In 1834, a similar invention was patented, the zoetrope, created by William George Horner. The zoetrope had the same basic principle as the phenakistoscope, but instead of discs, the pictures and the viewing slots were combined into a rotating drum. In 1892, Edison created the kinetoscope. It was a simple slot machine in which dropping a coin in a small slot produced a picture. Edison built the first ever motion picture studio in the back garden of his laboratory. But Edison's kinetoscope was an individual experience. The cinema experience actually began when audiences sat in the dark to view images being projected onto a screen. The movie experience began with a burst and created a chain reaction, causing many to want to participate in the cinema experience. This resulted with the cinema making billions of dollars in the future. The silent era began in 1904 and continued on until about 1928. Many films were produced during this time period. Though numerous films were produced, many of them have been lost and long forgotten. A silent film is basically a film with no recorded sound. However, later in the silent era, people began to add music to the films and eventually adding dialogue. The silent era, like other eras, brought the film industry millions of dollars. One of the first blockbuster silent films was Birth of a Nation, another example being The Big Parade. A widely popular type of silent film was Charlie Chaplin, which began production in about 1914. They quickly became a huge hit and many people loved them. One of Chaplin's popular films was The Gold Rush, generating millions of dollars. Silent films today are not as popular as they were during the 1900s. However, many people still continue to watch and enjoy these films. The golden age of Hollywood was when America's film industry was at its peak. With all the great actors and movie projects, the golden age of Hollywood produced many great films. Hollywood's golden age began in the late 1920s and lasted until about the 1960s. Many great movies were produced during Hollywood's golden age, generating millions of dollars for the film industry. One popular film produced during the golden age was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, produced by Disney in 1937. It was actually the first fully animated film to be produced in color. Another popular film made during this era was The Wizard of Oz, produced in 1939 by MGM. The Wizard of Oz made about $18 million in its unadjusted version and about $300 million in its adjusted version today. Yet another film produced during the golden age of Hollywood was Gone with the Wind, also produced by MGM in 1939. It made about $400 million through the box office to this day. There was also King Kong, produced earlier in Hollywood's golden age in about 1933. The original version of King Kong made a total of about $1,700,000 today. There were so many other films produced during the golden age of Hollywood. This resulted in millions of dollars for the film industry during this era. Cartoons are another large category in the film industry. But early cartoons required for each individual image to be hand-drawn by the artist. Each second of film required about 24 hand-drawn images. This method of animating became extremely unconventional. Animation became more economic friendly when Earl Hurd patented the animation cell, which allowed artists to only have to redraw the moving part of the image instead of redrawing the entire image. The animation cell made it easier to mass-produce cartoons. In 1928, Walt Disney created Steamboat Willie, which was the first cartoon to have music synchronized along with movement of the objects in the video. In the 1930s, major studios such as Paramount, Warner Brothers, Universal, and MGM Each signed deals with animation studios or they formed their own animation departments. The output generated millions of dollars. Flattened perspective, abstract backgrounds, strong primary colors, and limited animation resulted in cartoons that are quicker and easier to produce. Some primetime cartoons were Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, Mickey Mouse, The Simpsons, and Superman. Cartoons were popular amongst children but were enjoyed by people of all ages and continue to generate millions of dollars today. Computer animation is a generally new field in the film industry. It was first developed in the 1960s. There are currently many computer animated films out, one of the more advanced ones being Avatar. Toy Story, produced by Disney, was one of the first films to be fully computer animated.
To infinity and beyond! Toy Story.
Film companies also tend to use computer graphics for special effects in movies, such as explosions. Computer animation was at one time extremely difficult, but thanks to advances in technology and the right equipment, almost anyone can use computer animation. Film has come a long way since it first began. Film has gone through countless changes from the way it's created to the styles in general. The film industry is very popular. Almost 30% of Americans go to the theaters. And the others, they may not go to the theaters, but they still purchase it on DVD or watch it online. Many people make going to the movies a monthly outing. About 55% of moviegoers usually take along friends and family. The film industry in the United States has recently had a box office record of about $10.6 billion made in 2009. One of the contributors to this record was Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, making about $402 million. Another movie was Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, making about $302 million. And there was also Avatar, making about $352 million. Though the film industry has not again seen record profits like in 2009, they still make billions of dollars of revenue per year. The film industry also provides many jobs. The big film companies keep thousands of people on staff, such as actors, directors, craftspeople, writers, and many others. The film industry has also opened a new world for the public, such as the horrors of war. The film industry has also given people more exposure to the world, not just through cinema, but through television and other forms of digital media.